Yeah, so when I think about why this stepping into this field of personal development coaching was so attractive to me initially was really because I wanted to, the desire for me was always about reaching for something more. Um, and one of the things that were one of the framing in terms of what the benefits were for becoming a certified high performance coach was about getting the more you want in life and recognizing that we didn't have to stay as people generally where we were, and that we should always, or the benefits, at least for us in terms of striving for more, was going to outweigh the risks that, or the comfort levels that we were in staying where we are, right? And so because uh so when I came into it, that was the first thing that I was thinking about with it, and wanting to bring it to the nonprofit leaders that I was working with, because I wanted I saw where they were struggling a lot in terms of balancing life things with work. And so I saw this as an opportunity to explore with them how they were showing up for themselves and for their work, and how they were what tools and what practices could I help them develop so that it was going to be easier, lighter lift for them. So that's what I thought about initially when I came into doing high performance coaching. And then along the way, I've been certified since 2015. I have now, because my passion has become, what is my role in helping Black people and serving Black people in ways that are going to elevate them and bring them growth as a collective, individually and as a collective. So beyond working with uh, nonprofit leaders, how was I going to expand out to touch as many people as I could with this message? Because when I first heard it uh, at a event I went to that Brendan Burchard was hosting, I resonated with it because it was speaking to me in terms of the pillars. He talked about clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. And just hearing him explain those, I said, that's me. And recognizing that he had a curriculum built behind this, and it had been tested hundreds and thousands of times, and that they had come up with these 5 pillars, I thought, wow, this would be great to share, and it would be great to share with everybody. Everybody needs to hear it. But I was in spaces at the time initially, when I got certified, where there weren't very many people who looked like me in that space. And so I was also thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll just bring these to the nonprofit leaders, but how was I going to frame this for every Black person that I contact with, which in my mind needed to have this, right? If you want it to be about movement and growth. And though I recognize, I say, not everybody is your client, or your potential client or customer. I really wanted to work with people who saw where they have to take agency, control over their lives, and they can take control in terms of the trajectory and what they could actually do day to day. Because a lot of us don't have that. We don't have people around us who are talking to us in those types of ways about how we can elevate from where we are. We're basically kind of just ruminating a lot of times, and commiserating on the misery that we're in. And not too many of us really have structured a way to systematically or focus, in a way to get us out of where we are. And so to me, this was the answer. And it was a tool that I could use to have more elevating conversations, because I'm about elevation. I'm about, yeah, we can we can recognize where we are, but this isn't a place we need to stay. We need to elevate, we need to grow. So uh, then I recognize the role that we have in our own lives, in our families, for the responsibility of of doing what we can to deconstruct these constructs that are keeping us in bondage in many ways, mentally, and then we put ourselves in chains, you know, physically in imaginary chains by limiting what we can do. And I'm not about that at all. And so I started then thinking, well, this would be great if I could frame this around these constructs we did not create, but we have bought into, which is Black excellence and Black exceptionalism, believing that these are some sort of badges of honor that we need to carry around with us. So, because we have to prove to the dominant society that we can be just as good as them. I reject that outright, because we don't have to prove anything. We just are what we are. And in many instances, as we continue to see, we are, there's no comparison. There is no comparison between other people and Black people. We are just very unique. So us using them as measuring rods to determine whether we're excellent or exceptional is just ridiculous to me. So I reject it, and I am on this mission. I don't know if it's going to become a movement, but in my mind, we need to just reject that outright. We are Black people. And by virtue of us being Black, we are exceptional. We don't need a label. We don't need anything defining that for us. We are that already. So, in terms of the work that I'm doing with the performance coaching space, personal development and high performance coaching space, that is what I'm doing. I'm talking to us about how we talk to ourselves in terms of our self-worth and how we are relating to who we are as a people, and where we need to be and the things that we need to be doing right now, and then how we are going to work on our individual selves to get us there as a collective. I'm big on personal responsibility, continuous improvement, and lifelong learning. Those are the values that I live my life by. And so what I learn, I share. I like to work in collaboration with people who are of like mind. And I want us to see we are much more powerful. If folks would just leave us alone and let us do us, we would, I mean, there are no limits to where we could go, where we would essentially be limitless, and we are limitless once we recognize that we're the ones that are holding us back. So all the work that I do moving forward, I'm also working in the nonprofit space and fund development training and coaching and consulting. These are the conversations that I have constantly. Look at who you are, what you can bring to a specific situation. You have the agency to make the change within yourself. And I definitely, as with the tools that I've been trained on as a personal development coach, can help people to get to those increasing levels of clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Once those things are identified, you are much better equipped and prepared to take the responsibility to move forward. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that's my passion. That's my life passion. And that is what I plan on doing in terms of being of service to my people.